Good morning, students. Today we are going to study about the third part of money and banking. Till now we have studied about money, barter system, drawbacks of the barter system, measures of money supply in our economy, functions of the central bank, how central bank controls credit in the economy. But now, in the third part of money and banking, we are going to study about the credit creation function of the commercial bank. So, let us now proceed further in order to know how commercial bank creates the credit in the economy. Firstly, we shall start our process with two assumptions. The first assumption is that there should be single banking system in the economy, and the second assumption is that no cash transactions should take place. It means that whatever transactions are going to take place, they are going to take place through account, through checks, but not in the form of cash. Now suppose that initially the public deposits 1,000 rupees in the bank. Now this 1,000 rupees which has been deposited by the public in the bank is termed as primary deposit. Further, what happens if the cash reserve means that the mandatory requirement which all the commercial banks have to keep with RBI. So suppose that cash reserves is or CRR is 10%. Now if this is 10%, so 10% of this 1,000 is to be kept as cash reserve, and thus this amount turns to be 100 rupees. Now this is the reserve which has to be maintained by the commercial banks. Now when we deduct from this 1,000 this 100 rupees, the left amount is 900, and 900 is nothing but excess reserve of the commercial bank. Now this excess reserve amount can be lent out to the borrowers. Now this 900 rupees is lent out to the borrowers who come to the commercial banks for some loan. Now in this way, 1,000 rupees was the initial deposit. Out of this 1,000, 100 rupees was kept as cash reserves because CRR is 10%, and after that the 900 rupees which is excess reserve is now lent to the borrowers. Now let us come to the second round. Now this 900 rupees again comes to bank in the form of deposits. Why? Because initially we have assumed that there will be no cash transactions in the economy. No cash transactions in the economy means that the person who have borrowed this 900 rupees from the bank is going to pay it to somebody else. And the moment he pays to somebody else, that payment is not being done in the form of cash, but it again comes to the bank itself. Now this 900 rupees can be termed as secondary deposit. And now this primary plus secondary deposit can be termed as demand deposits. And now this demand deposit can also be termed as checkable deposits. Why? Because these deposits can be because money from these deposits can be withdrawn by signing the checks. But another type of deposit is term deposit. From term deposit, money cannot be borrowed by signing the checks. Money can be withdrawn from these types of deposits only after the maturity period. Now let us come back to the credit creation process. Now we were on the second round when this 900 rupees which was lent to the borrowers, now this 900 again comes to the bank in the form of a deposit. Now out of this 900 again 10% would be kept as cash reserve. 10% means 90 rupees and the left amount would be 810. Again this is a excess reserve. Again the same process will continue. Now this 810 rupees which was excess reserve which was lent to the borrowers again come to the bank in the form of deposits. Now again this out of this 810, 10% that is 81 rupees would be kept in the form of reserve. And the rest 729 would be again lent out. Now this process will continue till these total deposits don't become 10,000 and cash reserves turn to be 1,000. The process will repeat and repeat and repeat. It will stop only when the total deposits become 10,000. And how? How we have decided that it becomes 10,000? By this formula. Demand deposits, it means total demand deposits is equals to 1 upon CRR. CRR was 10% and that is not going to change throughout the credit creation process by the commercial bank. Into cash reserves, that was 1,000. Now when we calculate the entire thing with the help of the formula, we get 10,000 rupees and accordingly this process will stop when total deposits becomes 10,000 rupees. Thus we have seen that in this way the commercial bank creates credit. Now let us understand about the type of deposit. Term deposits, demand deposits. Previously I have told you that this term deposit, money can be withdrawn from term deposit only after a certain maturity period, whatever is the terms and conditions. But from demand deposit, money can be easily withdrawn through checks. There are two types of deposits: primary deposits, secondary deposits. Primary deposits are in the form of saving and secondary deposits are in the form of loans. Secondary deposits are also known as derivative deposits. Here I would like to focus that if more is the cash reserve ratio, if CRR is more, then the credit creation power would be less, or the multiple times that money is going to be created would be less. Why? Because it is inversely linked. 1 upon CRR. Let us understand this thing in detail with the help of the relationship between CRR and credit multiplier. Credit multiplier is also known as money multiplier. The formula is credit multiplier is denoted by alphabet K and the formula is 1 upon CRR. Here we can also write 1 upon LRR. Actually, LRR is equals to CRR plus SLR. It means LRR is equals to cash reserve ratio plus statutory liquidity ratio. But here we can also write as 1 upon LRR. Now this credit multiplier indicates the maximum amount of money that commercial banks can create given cash reserves with RBI. It means that this credit multiplier tells us that how many times commercial bank is going to create the money with the help of cash reserves that has been kept with the RBI. So this was all about the chapter Money and Banking. Thank you.